You ever go on social media and wonder what your impact on the world will be once you leave that social media platform, what you will be remembered for, and what your digital footprint will be? Because I kind of wonder that all the time. I'm like, what will happen when I am faded off into oblivion and my accounts are just left to rot in the digital hellscape that is the internet right now. And I've always wondered that, and I usually just think about it. It's like the post that I make that ends up getting the most likes is kind of just the perfect encapsulation of me as a human being and me as a person. And I realize that philosophy may be flawed because if it keeps on at that pace, I think my two things I'm going to be remembered for would be one on Instagram Reels, where I basically threaten the entire family lineage of Grohl the Great from Silk Song, where I tell him that I hope every single person in his family lineage dies. I think I said it's like his mom, his dad, himself, his dog, his cat all die. So that was kind of a rough thing I remember, a rough thing to think about in this philosophy and like what I'd be leaving behind. And it becomes especially more problematic if you look at what has now become the most famous TikTok that I've made. And I'm not even saying this to toot my own horn, but I just wanted to say that like this is a catastrophic, unfortunate thing that happened that most people will now have known me for online, and that is I accidentally murdered Chikawa in a game. I murdered Chikawa on accident, and it has now become quite possibly the most successful TikTok I've ever made in my entire life. Like if you look right here, this is the clip, so you all know what's going on here. Chikawa, it's just you and me, Chikawa. I don't think you grasp the severity of the event behind you. I don't think you know what's happening. I don't think you know what's going on here. What's the game plan, Chico? What's the game plan here? What's the plan of action? What's the plan of attack? This is a fight you would ever seen before. This is the no, Chikawa, no, 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 Chikawa. So, like I said, I in my own hubris and in my own search for comedy, I spawned the Witherstorm in a Minecraft world and also a Chikawa mod pack, and I thought, what if I bring beloved character Chikawa right next to the Wither Storm, and then Chikawa died. Chikawa got murdered, and that is entirely my fault. And so many people have seen it now. So many people have seen it. It has like I don't even know 80,000 views and like 20,000 likes, which I think is an insane like to view ratio. And I think it's just unbelievable that this is like something that happened, and this is something that once again is quite possibly going to be my most successful thing I've ever made in content creation at all. And I guess like one more thing, and I completely remember, but I mentioned this video before. I guess if we go on YouTube, my most viewed YouTube video I've ever made is the Tree of Wisdom video, where I basically just act like I'm talking to the Tree of Wisdom while it's having a psychotic breakdown. And so every single facet of what I've made that has been successful makes me painted as an equally insane human being. I don't really know if that's a good thing or not, but it just kind of seems like anywhere you interact with me on the internet is a continuous and nonstop descent into madness, and I just kind of find myself in the worst ways because we have me talking to the tree wisdom and it going insane, and me kind of just like acting like it's like devolving. Me threatening a dude's entire bloodline and hoping and saying that basically I hope his bloodline gets eradicated from the planet, and then me killing Chikawa by bringing it to the Witherstorm that I spawned on myself and that put a bunch of tornadoes in the game such that it'd be the most inhabitable environment of all time, inhospitable environment of all time. And so maybe I gotta change my philosophy on just like, what a digital footprint could be. Because once again, I don't know if it's looking too hot for me. I don't know if it's something that I am going to really, truly desire for people to have who remember on me. And I guess if we even extrapolate this all to every sort of social media that I have, I guess this is just me being a random yapper online. This is my dear diary. This channel is his. So I really have a complete nonsensical brand if it comes to just understanding where my where my existence on all internet platforms lies, where I exist in every capacity and every facet of just being online. It seems like I'm simply the most insane human being to ever go out there, and anything I do is just chaos. And so we gotta really nail that down. And if that's what I want to do, I guess at least I'm not a gambling streamer. I guess I could be that. I guess I could do gambling on like Kick or some shit, and that's probably even worse than what I do right now. So at least I'm not morally corrupt and gamble live on stream while telling people that I'm not getting sponsored by a potential gambling company, while then acting like I'm winning millions of dollars and losing millions of dollars. And in totality, I'm actually just not making any money. I'm actually just getting paid like the sponsorship money, and all the money I'm using is fake. At least I'm not doing that. So hey, reconsidered it, realigning the framework that we have developed here. At least my digital image is not the worst that it could possibly be. Now, obviously, I do get a lot of like people hating on me just because whatever, but I really care. I think it's funny. I leave most of the comments up on this channel when people are hating on me. I think the only time I've ever deleted the most of those is when they're like trying to defend Nazis, and I was like, that probably can't stay on my page, but whatever. Maybe at some point I will coalesce my image into one coherent, cohesive thing that actually makes any sense. But it seems like just for now, we are once again riding this high of absolute insanity and just complete chaos that I've wrecked upon myself, and I've done nothing, no forward thought into thinking about how I would be presented if the videos that I make online do actually get seen by people, which is kind of the goal of the videos. If you think about it, that's kind of the point of posting on social media is for people to see them. So it kind of just seems like I have to think more about what I'm actually posting. Your parents tell you be careful what you post online because they think you're gonna get abducted by like a random crazy person. But in reality, it's more just so that people don't think you're just a person who belongs in an insane asylum with a straitjacket and a white padded room when they only see you causing just evil things to happen to everybody that are around you and just making pain happen to everybody. I don't really know. That's kind of all I want to talk about for today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.